Hey guys, good evening. It's Angel Belachowski here. Hope you're having a great weekend and that you had a lot of fun and that you've been having a great Sunday. I'm excited for this webinar tonight. First of all, I just got to say I'm really excited for the content in here. I think it's information that, bits and pieces of it you may have heard here and there. And, once you put it all together and take notes and really go over it and really see how simple it is to get to that six-figure income and how, don't stray from that path and just stick to what we're teaching here tonight. And it's amazing how easy it is. Sorry, I've just got my phone here because I just wanted to make sure that when I'm screen sharing, you guys can see it. It's my first time actually using webinars on air. I've switched over from using GoToWebinar, and I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna like it a lot more. I like that there's a lot more features on webinars on air. The only thing that I don't like is that I am susceptible to the Google problem where sometimes it doesn't work. So hopefully we are cool tonight and everything stays going for the entire time. I'm used to the, just I guess dependability of GoToWebinar, but their features just aren't as integratable with other things and just aren't as eye-catching and whatever. So anyways, I hope you guys are excited for tonight's training and that you have a clear mind and that you are focused and ready to learn some information. We were camping all weekend, and so my voice is a little bit gone. We have not had very much sleep. It was camping with two kids is a lot of work, and it's actually the first time we've been camping with two kids since we had them. So it was fun, but I was excited to come back and get this put together for you guys. It's kind of hard sometimes, when you transfer from, I think, being full-time from home, I have to kind of make my breaks, like I have to schedule them, right? Because otherwise you can just find that you're working all the time. It's not the same as a job where you have a set week in the summer or something that you take off a week or 2 weeks. And so I found that, this is the first summer where I've actually been working full-time from home. And so scheduling that time, I find sometimes, how you tend to fall into that almost guilt mode of when you take time off, and then you've got to transition. Then you fully get into that. Oh yeah, life is good when you're not working, and then you got to transition back in. But the great thing about what we do is that it's such a passion, right? And it's so much fun to get back into it and to start, marketing and doing webinars and teaching people and basically just helping people go full time is my passion. And if you know me, I am a work from home mom full time. I have two kids, and my passion is to help parents be home. But I do teach everybody in home business. So if that's you, stick around because this is completely generic training for anybody in any home business. And so I'm going to start the presentation mode. I'm not one now. If you've ever been on any of my webinars, you know what, I'm going to go into screen share here. Last time I did one of those Google Hangout webinars one time, and I totally forgot to actually share my screen. So let's make sure that I'm doing that. Now I want to make sure that it goes into the right one. Let's see. So I want to present to everyone, and then I'm going to go into my presentation here. So I'm going to kind of watch on my phone to make sure, but I'll talk just a bit here. But yeah, so this is completely generic, and it's for anybody in any home business, and that's really what I teach on. I don't get specific into anything. If you have questions about your own business, I have worked with people in specific businesses, so for sure reach out to me if you have any questions after this. But I'm really excited to teach it and to really just help people out. What I started to say earlier was that I don't really share too much about me. I don't get into the pictures and results and all that kind of stuff. Who I am is I basically worked for about a year in a home business and really had poor results or no results, or you could say minus results, because I did pretty much everything wrong. And I didn't really have, people can blame the fact that I didn't have an upline that was doing anything or any training or anything. And that was true, but I just, I didn't know, right? I didn't know any better. And so I did all of the wrong things, which is so common with so many people, especially if, I got bit by that opportunity bug. I got bit by the vision and seeing what this industry could do and seeing that I could actually be full-time home with my kids. And that was my main thing, right? How can I be home with my kids? And so I attached myself to that and the training came after. So I pretty much had to kind of dig and figure out how to make this work. I didn't recruit anybody for, I think it was 11 months before I recruited my first person. I had lots of customers in what I was doing, and we'll get into that later on customer management. But I just didn't do it right. But I kept going because I just knew deep down that this was the industry for me. This was my answer to everything that I wanted to do with my life, and I wanted to get out of what I was doing. So, and now it's just a matter of getting to share it with people, right? And getting to help people out in their business, getting to show them how to do this and how to do it faster, way faster than I do. That's kind of my thing, is that I show people how to get success way sooner than I did and how to avoid those mistakes that I made. Because now not only have I made those mistakes and I'm able to identify those to people and be like, hey, you know what, I went down that road too. Don't do this or don't do that. But I also am learning from, major people in the industry. And so I'm able to share that training with people as well. So I didn't put pictures of me and my kids up. I just kind of put this presentation together. I wanted the training to be solid. So it's not going to be an about me webinar. I don't want this to go too long for you. I'm not sure how long this presentation will be. It's the first time I've done this one. So we'll get right into it because, that's what we're here for, right? None of us have any time to waste. So I don't know, what question and answer may be enabled, and I can see on my phone that you guys can see my screen, but I just quickly want to minimize and see where I'm going to get your questions from, if I can get my arrow to work here. If you have questions, go ahead and fire them at me, and I'm assuming that, I'm just going to go to the Q&A. Oh, maybe then you can, I guess it's disabled. So that's not going to work. I will enable chat after the presentation so you guys can ask any questions, okay? So I'm going to leave that not enabled. I find that chat is very distracting in these webinars, and I don't mean to ruin anybody's fun on being able to chat back and forth, but I do find it a distraction. So we'll turn it on at the end and be able to chat. So this is all about how to create a six-figure residual, nice spelling, hey, residual income in your home business and build a loyal following. So I'll correct that in the next one. So this is a couple of trainings that I listened to. This is based on life experience. This is based on mentor training. And it's pretty much everything to share with you how to have success, the rules to follow, the things you need to be doing, the things you need to not be doing. And at the end, we're going to get into that, building a loyal following, and how that all does tie into building a business, either in network marketing, direct sales, a home business, internet marketing, online marketing, whatever it is. You need to have that loyal following, that customer base. And so many times in these, kind of old school companies, and even new companies, they go back to that old school training, which absolutely works, but nobody's really teaching you how to brand yourself, be yourself, build that following, get that customer base. And everybody that I know that has had success and is a top earner in any type of business in this industry does that. They have that following. They figured out a way to market. They figured out a way to build a customer base and market to them. So that's what we're going to be training on here. So the first part of this is awareness. And, you need to be aware of how your decisions affect what is going to happen in your business. And, you got to know what works and what doesn't work. And that gets into, just like I said about myself, I didn't know what didn't work. And so I did the stuff that didn't work because I didn't know any better. But you've got to really become aware of whether or not you do understand what works. And if you do see other people doing things, take an awareness of what they're doing so that you can understand how you can do that for yourself. You know what? My battery is about to die here. I'm just going to quickly make sure my computer's plugged in, which I don't think it is. So just 1 second here. My kids obviously had their own stuff plugged in. There we go. That's the last thing we need, is for me to just die on you guys. So it's just being aware of, if you're doing something and it's not producing results, and this is where I really got stuck in the beginning, is I would, do something and it wouldn't get me results right away. So what did I do? I poured more money into it, or I kept on doing it thinking that I just wasn't reaching the right people. And what I've learned from so many people along the way in different areas of marketing and in different areas of the business is, if you're doing something and it's not working, stop doing it and figure out something else. Try something else, tweak it, change what you're saying, how you're marketing, whatever it is. If it's not working and you've given it a little bit of time and put your effort into it, stop putting your effort into it. And, I spent a lot of months doing the wrong things and putting effort into things that weren't working. So absolutely just be aware of what does and doesn't work, and make sure to ask questions. Ask people who are making it work and say to them, I'm doing this. What do you think? Like, should I continue doing this or not? And they'll definitely give you their opinion and help you out. Most people would love to give you a hand in what you're doing. The second is your belief. I find so many people are just dependent on what other people think. So your own belief is based on what others believe. And I find that in the training that I do with people and in coaching that I do and on one-on-ones, that people's belief in this industry just isn't there. And that can be based on, people always talking about how there's a stigma with the industry, or just not feeling like you belong, feeling like you're doing something that's a little different. So is it right? Are the other people right that are telling you this isn't going to work? And so it can take some effort to build that belief. And one of the first things that I tell people that I'm coaching is that if you're feeling like you're different, that's normal. Because the people who have success from home or in this industry or network marketing, they're different than the norm. And we know that. We know that from the beginning. We know that not everybody's having success in this industry. We know that there's only a certain percentage of people in it. And when we join, we believe we're going to be that certain percentage of people. So we need to turn that belief into, not only are we going to be those people but that we believe that we can be, and we believe in what that percentage of people are doing. And it can even come down to statistics in the industry. If you need to just kind of do your research in the industry that you're in, find some people who are making it work, go out and, do the research and find out what the statistics are and how successful people are, and get some numbers in your head and build your belief that way. And I was on a training with Todd Falcone just a couple of months ago, and he shared some facts about direct sales and network marketing that were pretty substantial. And it was that it's a profession that was established over 70 years ago. So, we're talking, it's not something that's new. It's not something, that's just a newfangled thing out there that people are joining. It's an established profession. And in 2013, now these are some great numbers, so take some notes if you can, because if you need to build your belief in this industry, these are some things you want to look at. So in 2013, 96 million people were in the industry, and there was $178 billion in global sales. Now look at 2014, 99 million people were in the industry. So that's a growth of 3 million people in 1 year. And they did $182 billion in sales and direct sales. So that's a growth of $4 billion in sales. So do you think that knowing what you're capable of, knowing the feeling that you had when you joined, or when you first took your product, or when you first saw what was possible for you with this industry, do you think that you could be part of either a 3 million person growth or a $4 billion growth in sales in 1 year? Right? And of course, that's absolutely, you are one person who could just even if you could only get 1% of that, right? Like, what kind of a business would that be for you? So absolutely, the business is a huge industry, and it can definitely work for you. So now, 1 in 4 people, I thought this was really interesting, because I know that myself, I absolutely love direct sales products, and I think they are the best products out there. Some of them may be overpriced, but most of them are priced pretty accordingly for the way that they work. And 1 in 4 people have purchased a direct sales product in the last year. So that's 25% of people in the US, and I'm in Canada personally, so I don't mean to be, cheating on my country or anything, but these are US facts. But so 25% of the people in the US have bought a direct sales product in the last year. That's a huge amount of people. So if you can tap into that kind of sales for your business, that's also huge. So you can see from these numbers, and I'm sorry I didn't put them on the screen here. I can definitely send you the notes if you want the information in detail, but the recording will be sent out as well. But so absolutely be taking notes. But this is not a scam industry. This is not a scheme. This is a proven industry that is having incredible sales, obviously, and incredible growth. And that growth isn't going to stop. And we know that as we go into this change in economy, as it still goes on, that there's a lot of people who are looking for other ways to either make some extra money or ways out of what they're doing. So, get your belief in this industry, first of all. Listen to people every day who are having success, and absolutely make sure that you feel proud of what you do, because it's an awesome industry. So the other is to immerse yourself in success. So are you surrounding yourself with the right people and the right information on a regular basis? This is huge. I did not realize how important this is and how easy this is. I remember when I first heard this, and I heard Ray Higdon say, you're the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And I don't think he coined that. It was from somebody else. But I thought, okay, I'm the sum of the 5 people that I surround myself with. Well, that's, that makes sense. According to where I'm at in my life, that would make total sense. I had no clue how to get myself out of that. But all it took was to continue to listen to people like Ray and other mentors that I've had in my life and get myself immersed in books, start watching movies, start listening to audios, start being on those webinars that I'm committing myself to be on, right? And those kind of things, listening to that continuous talk is going to have a huge effect on how successful you are in your business. If you come into this industry right now, maybe you're having a little bit of success, maybe you're having no success, maybe you're having a lot of success. If there's definitely people, unless if you have an amazing warm market and amazing friends who think you are amazing and listen to everything you say, chances are you have a few people around you who have given you some resistance, ignored you, said no, told you that they don't like what you're doing, given you that doubt, put that doubt in your head. And if you continue to listen to all those people, if those people are your circle of influence, you're going to start to doubt, resist what you think and start to lose your belief and just that's when people quit, is when they get that resistance and they don't know what to do. So that's why you need to take yourself out of that, acknowledge that has happened, be okay with it, realize that it's not personal. They aren't telling you that you're horrible or anything. It's just not right for them, whatever. We've all heard that, right? So that's basic training. But you need to get yourself into some major influence around you of people who have had success. And so if you can't do that in your immediate circle, I even found getting into some masterminds, me and some people online would start hanging out online, getting together, asking questions, sharing what was working in our marketing, sharing what was working with recruiting and prospecting, anything, right? And just being that support for each other. So if you can get a group of people together with the same interests as you or that are doing the same thing, it doesn't even have to be in your same business. We were all in different companies, but it's just having a bunch of people who are there helping each other out. And one thing that I've heard many times that is so true is if you are the smartest person in the room, then you need to get into a different room because you want to be around brains that think bigger than yours, people who have had more success than you, people that you can follow their path, and that's going to help you so much. So I found that, and just as an example for myself, and if you can relate to this, then you'll understand. I think entrepreneurs, we're so independent to begin with, right? And we want to do everything our own way. We can do everything on our own. I was a very independent person all my life. And so I thought I could do everything on my own and it was okay. I could listen to a couple of things people said. I was cool. I was on my own. So wrong. It's so much of letting yourself go and realizing that you need to listen to those people who have had that success. It's going to get you there so much quicker. You've heard success leaves clues, so listen to those clues and follow those clues. And don't think that you need to keep on inserting your own stuff in there. Just follow what they do. Get to that success level so that you can start putting your own spin on things. Be yourself, but still just follow what people have done, because if you're looking to get to that success level, that's the way to get there the easiest. So remove negativity in your life as much as you can. And I know from having lots of people in my life very close to me who are very negative, that's a very hard thing to do. So if you can't remove the actual negativity from your life, remove it from your thoughts. So when you hear it come in your ear, don't acknowledge it. Don't even say anything about it. Don't argue it. Don't fight back. Just let it go out the other ear, literally. And it just kind of gives you that power. It gives you that satisfaction. It keeps you calm. And it'll show you that you're transforming into that successful person. So, and it's, the number one thing that I hear from people who are struggling is that there's so many people around them that aren't supporting them, that they don't have that support from their spouse, that they don't have that support from their friends or their parents or whatever, right? And trust me, we've all been there. Go and listen to some success stories. Listen to if you have some company videos you can watch of, your events or anything, go and listen to some of the speakers on stage. And I can guarantee you 99% of them are going to share a story about someone who told them they couldn't, or some sort of struggle that they went through in their life that started off at a young age, or, just bad stories. We all have those stories. So go and listen to that, and that'll help you realize that you're not alone, and that everybody who got to where you want to go had to, kind of just get through that and overcome that and leave that in the past and realize that you can become something bigger than that. And, this isn't going to be all about mindset, but This is part of the industry, and this is part of the industry that you're not really necessarily taught. You were all given books to read and personal development to do, but it's more of a one-on-one, realizing that you're bigger than the problems that you have, and you're also way bigger than the negativity in your life. So the next is practice to be a pro. And this is something that I think even I am guilty of not doing. You need to spend some time actually practicing what you're learning. And it doesn't necessarily even mean implementing it. It means practicing one-on-one, practicing with a spouse or a friend. Or, we've been taught, I don't know if in your company they've taught it, but lots of times where you say, okay, you know what, I'm new in this industry. This is what I'm doing. I know this isn't for you, but could you take a look at it? Could I do a run through with you? Could I practice with you? When I first started out, I asked some friends over and I was like, you know what, I have no clue what I'm doing. Would you mind coming over and just supporting me? I don't know who's going to show up, but I really would appreciate your support. And people come out for you that way. And the funny thing is nobody else came. It was all the people who wanted to support me, and none of them became distributors or bought any products. But it's that, you need to be able to practice. You need to be able to just have somebody comfortable around you. Pick a person or two that you can practice with. If you need to do it in the mirror, some people record themselves doing a presentation, record themselves doing objection training, record themselves, just even inviting a prospect to a presentation. So if you need to do that, then absolutely do that as well. And just anything you can to practice and do it over and over and over again until it just flows. Because a prospect or a customer, if you are nervous, they are going to sense that in you. And that's something that I didn't realize for a long time. You can take that energy into a conversation and they can feel that, even if it's not coming through in your words, even if you're saying your script word for word for word. If you are in your mind at all thinking, oh my gosh, I hope they can't feel that I'm new at this. Oh my gosh, I hope that they say yes. I hope that they say yes. I hope that they say yes. They're feeling that from you. And so you're not coming across as that person who really it's no big deal if they join or not. It's no big deal if they buy or not. They're not feeling that from you. They're feeling some sort of weird feeling. You're giving them that gut feeling that that you feel sometimes when you go places. That's what they're feeling. So that's why you want to practice, so that it just rolls off your mouth and everything is fine. And a lot of times, practice. One way that I practiced was to do it live. I actually ran an ad on our local classifieds, and it wasn't a specific ad, so I got a lot of the wrong prospects, but my gosh, I think I did 200 calls in about 30 days, and they were horrible, but that got me over my fear of being on the phone. That got me over any obstacles that I had with talking to people. It got me to that point. It got me past that, Going for No. If you've ever heard of that, that's a great book. Go for No by Andrea Waltz and Richard Fenton. It's a great book if you're trying to overcome people saying no to you. It's great. But so that got me through that. It got me just to the point when I had done my calls 200 times and had heard no that many times, and I was able to talk to anybody by that point because I had heard all the objections. I had talked to enough people. I had enough confidence in myself that I knew that picking up the phone wasn't a scary thing to do anymore. So definitely practice, And then I talked to other people who are more into the online marketing and who are scared to say do a video, or who are scared to put themselves out there. I just talked to a woman the other day who was just new on Facebook, and she felt like she was such an outsider and how could she be doing this? And I talked to another guy last week who was just starting videos, but he wasn't making them public. He was making them all unlisted. And what I say to people is, okay, there's tons of people out there doing what you are scared to do, and they're out there doing it. And we know that only 2% of these people are going to be successful at it, because in our industry, statistically, only 2%, 3 or 2% are good at what they do and stick through it and become successful. So if you know that out of the 100% of people that do take that first step and are doing what you're scared to do, that only 2% of you are going to make it through and are going to last and be successful, why can't that be you? Why can't, if you just keep going, if you just take this step now, do a video today, do a video next week, do a video next week, and then after that, maybe do a video every 2 days or every 3, that's going to be you, and it gets to be so comfortable. So it's really practicing putting yourself out there and realizing that even if you're afraid of judgment or anything like that, that it's so easy to overcome just by getting out of your comfort zone, doing the things that challenge you, or the things that are going to grow you and are going to give you the biggest success. So, and then the other thing is practicing with your team. You need to be practicing with them so that they're getting better at the things that you want to teach them. And I personally work with my team once a week, and we're doing Q&A. We're doing weekly practice. If they want to run something by me that, they want to practice with me, I'm that person for them. So we do role playing, and we do anything that they want, I'm there for. So definitely not only practice for yourself, but teach others how to practice, because a lot of people don't know how to, or it is that comfort zone that they don't walk out of. And so many of us don't do that it's a huge kind of breakthrough when you finally do realize how important it is. Next is to focus on money-making activities. And this is something that all of us can kind of get sucked into. So it's really setting time for the things that you're doing each day. And so many of us can get sucked into that Facebook world or Twitter world or Instagram world where you want to see what your friends are doing. So what I suggest is to take, what I do for my personal self is I take 15 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening on personal social media time. So I will take 15 minutes in the morning, look through my newsfeed, comment, do anything like that. And then at nighttime, do the same thing. And I do that for two reasons, because I do believe that you should interact with people on a total, just interact with them basis, nothing to do with business or anything like that. And second, you do want to be active in people's lives. If they see you only doing your business stuff and you're never acknowledging that they even exist, then they're going to start to lose that connection with you. So it is, spending that time is good for your business as well, because it's showing that you're a real person and that you don't only post about your stuff, that you can share somebody's funny video or comment on somebody's funny post as well, right? So that's huge. But you got to be disciplined with your time. And I found that going full-time from home I needed to be more disciplined, right? Like we talked about earlier. And so I really have to schedule my time. And so if I set a certain amount of time that I'm going to spend on Facebook doing my ads, that's a money-making activity. Then I set that amount of time and I get it done. And then I spend my time prospecting. That is the number one thing that you need to be doing. And I've shared this on a few webinars, where it is plan, P-L-A-N, and I didn't type it out here for you, but the word plan, phone calls, getting leads, setting appointments, and then the next steps is the money-making activities that you need to be focusing on every day. And next steps can be your next steps in then setting up the phone calls for the next day, or the next steps with your team. Basically taking a snapshot of your business. What are my next steps? Then moving on to the other activities. And now myself, I am a blogger. I need to be putting content out there. I am a video marketer, so I need to be putting videos out there. But those do take a back seat to when I'm prospecting. Or those do take a backseat sometimes to when I need to spend some time with my kids. If I've been spending all day prospecting and talking to people, and I've done my presentations for the day, and I've got all those things done in my plan that I need to get done, and I've done, I've added people into my circle, I've talked to people, I've done all of my money-making activities, then I will spend time with my family before I'll get that blog post out. So I've stopped beating myself up about blog posts, and I know, I'm in Tanya's groups and I'm in Ray's groups, and I know how important blogging is for your business, and I know how important all that online marketing is. But I had to kind of draw that line for me somewhere, because I'm not at their level yet, right? And so I want to follow what Ray does with his blog, but right now I was in more of a working with my team and prospecting mode, right? So we all take our own steps to each place, but for me I had to let go of the fact that I couldn't blog every single day. And so you've got to be looking at your day. What I did in the beginning when I was really focusing on money-making activities and kind of realizing where I was spinning my wheels and wasting time, and oh my gosh, when you sit down and do this, I spent a week where I just wrote down what I did every single day and how I was spending my time. And even though I thought that I was doing great things for my business, I was wasting a lot of time on things that were not making me money whatsoever. And then the other side of things was then the next week we started using an activity tracker in one of the courses that we were doing. And the activity tracker was fully focused on growing your business at a pretty rapid rate, basically showing you how to make sure that you were doing the things that you needed to be doing. And when I did that, I realized that so much of the things that I'd been spending my time on were not necessary at all. And that's when I realized that I needed to kind of cut the rope on some things, give myself some slack so that I can enjoy my life at the same time, because I am a mom with 2 kids. And probably if I wasn't, I would be a lot more intensive on the things that I was doing, right? But I know that at this time in my life right now, and that's why I love working with parents so much, is because it's okay. I kind of share with people that it's okay whether you have kids or you have grandkids or you have dogs, or I don't know, you have another job, whatever it is, it's okay to have to give that time and importance in your life as well. So, as we grow and as things get easier and you start making some more money, you'll have some more time to fit back in the things that you want to do for your business as well. The next is teamwork. Work with your team. And I know we touched on this a bit before, but give them a simple plan to follow. Work with them so that they don't feel alone. Don't bring someone into your business and leave them alone and never contact them. Don't be that person that's like, you know what, if they want to contact me, they can contact me. They have my number. I don't have time to be following up with them. Absolutely, you don't need to be micromanaging people, but for sure in the first while, establish that relationship with them and let them know that you appreciate them, that you're ready to work with them. And what we do with our team, and what I really suggest all teams do, and when I'm doing my coaching, I suggest that people do this as well. Definitely weekly question and answer webinars or calls. Kind of group with your team. And I touched on that a bit, where I do that with my team, where I'll role play and stuff. But sorry, I'm just gonna have some water. Absolutely have that time with them where they can write their questions out during the week, because a lot of us, I don't know, when you start to build your team, you'll get texts or you'll get calls. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. And some of them may be emergencies, but most of them are things that, are things that can wait, right? And so I encourage them to just write down their questions. Let's get them all answered all together. Everybody who's on the webinar, let's get all our questions answered and let's talk about it so everybody hears it, so you don't get the same question a bunch of times. And then what we also teach our team to do is to use our tools. So if somebody asks a question about how to use something in the back office, or something isn't working for them, then we point them to the support number. We say, you know what, just give support a call and they'll help you with that. Or if it's something, if they don't have a question on something, then we point them to the other way they can get that answered. Or one great question that I was taught by my sponsor, Caesar, is that you just look at them and say, okay, if you had to figure out that question, where would you go for the answer? And so many times people will come up with the answer on their own. They always know the answer. They're just kind of looking for your approval. So those are some great ways, but I connect with them on a weekly basis, share what is working. When I first started, I was with a team who did not share very much what was working, and kind of kept it to themselves. And you'll find that in this industry, there is that competitiveness. There's those leaders who kind of want it all for themselves, or don't want anybody, dipping into their pool or whatever. But I believe in abundance. So, if something's working for me, I share it with my team. Our entire team does. We have I'm on a team with a bunch of leaders who share what's working. We have a weekly call where it's like, hey, what was working for you? How did you recruit all those people? And they share exactly what worked. So why wouldn't you want that, right? And why wouldn't you want to spread that kind of happiness and believe that there's enough people out there for everybody that you can share what's working? So definitely do that. Don't keep your secrets to yourself. Share that with your team. They'll appreciate you. And that's what builds that relationship with them, that they're not going to leave you. If you act like some leader who has all these secrets that you're not sharing, and you kind of are, cracking that whip or still treating them like you're their boss, they're going to leave you, because there's going to be somebody out there who, if they still hold on to that vision for their life and they have a powerful why, they're going to find it somewhere else that is going to give them the answer, because you can't work with somebody who's going to be a boss. So if you kind of can identify that in yourself, and it's not a horrible thing if that's how you're managing your team, or if have you been taught to manage your team, it's not horrible. But just realize that when I started, if somebody would treat me like they were my boss still, it would be like, well, hey, you know what? I understand that you want me to have success, and probably you want that more because you want to have success, but don't treat me like I'm your employee who needs to do what you're telling me to do. Help me. Let's be friends. Let's be a family, and, do that. But I definitely don't want to be told what to do when it's my own business. So Absolutely. Just kind of find that happy medium and be able to relate with your team as a person. One time on a training with Doug Firebaugh that I was on in a course that I had taken with him, he said, treat your team like your best customers. And I thought that was so powerful because as a team member, you know, if you're treated with that value and feeling like you're special and like they don't want to lose you, there's nothing wrong with letting people know that you don't want to lose them and that you care about them, then you're not going to leave, right? You're going to even have that, you know, even if you start to think of leaving, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to let them down, so I'm going to stay, right? I'm going to let them know that these are the feelings that I have. Otherwise, if you don't have that connection, people are just going to leave on the spot, and that's where you see that attrition. That's where you see people just falling off without even letting you know. And those are the people who block you on Facebook, don't answer your calls, those kind of things. And so that's how you can avoid it, is just actually treating them like they mean something to you. And home meetings for your team as well. If you have a local team, invite them into your home, no matter your level, no matter how many, you know, if they're 7 layers below you or 7 in your downline below you, then definitely invite them into your home, make them feel important, establish that, you know, team environment, and build that loyalty. Oh, I've hit the wrong one here. Next is to watch your downline. And this is part of that as well, establishing that relationship with your team, but know what's going on in your genealogy. Each week, at least, take a look at it and figure out what's going on. Figure out where people are jumping off, or reach out to somebody who's going to go inactive, you know, because their sponsor may not be doing that for them. And if that's happening and nobody reaches out to them, and myself being someone who has been in a couple of companies before I found the one that was right for me, I knew I was in that almost going to be inactive situation, and you know that your sponsor has seen that. If they had reached out to me, I'm not sure if it would have changed anything, but it would have made me feel a little bit more valued, right? Whereas if you're let to just kind of fall off and nobody really cares, you're like, whatever, it didn't matter anyways because they didn't really care. So absolutely know what's going on. You are basically, you're the CEO of your business. And so any CEO of any company isn't going to just be like, well, I'm the boss, and so whatever goes on in my company, it's up to them. No, a CEO knows what's going on in his entire company. He's got people reporting to him. He's got, he's connecting with people. He's, doing those meetings with people. So that's the same kind of thing. And so especially if you see a leader in your downline who's all of a sudden on a recruiting blitz or has recruited a couple of people in the month and nothing was going on before, reach out to them, give them a call, shoot them an email, let them know who you are. They're going to really appreciate that somebody higher up than them is reaching out to them. And like I say, you never know what their sponsor is doing. And even if you don't know their sponsor personally, there is nothing wrong with you reaching out to someone in your downline. That is your team. That is your business down there. And so make them feel valued. And I've heard stories of people who have done that, and it's just produced tons of money for them because that person realized they were valued, and somebody was looking out for them. Next is to keep your marketing eyes open. Now, some of you who are on this webinar are on my email list, and I touched on this week. And this was a wake-up call I was on with Bert Bledsoe, who's somebody I work with closely as well. And he was talking about keeping your eyes open and thinking like a marketer. And depending on where you're at in your network marketing business, you might not be into that necessarily, like online marketing, but we're all marketers. And whether or not you're doing that face-to-face or over the phone or online or on social media, however you're marketing or however you're finding your customers or your prospects, you're a marketer. And you can keep your eyes open around you. When you're on your Facebook, and Bert said this, look at your ad feed on your Facebook and look at the ads that are being fed to you. Most of the time it's because of something that is in common with something that you've already searched out or a site that you've been on. But look at the actual ad itself and see, like, if that ad is being fed to you and you've seen it more than once on any, given day or during the week. If you've seen it a few times, that means that ad is working. So when it comes to doing an ad or doing a post or anything like that, you want to be looking at what's working, and instead of putting on, and I said this in the email, that instead of feeling like, how we all get that cheesy kind of thinking as soon as it comes to marketing and, for sending out an email, or if you're talking to someone, or if you're sharing a product, or however you're doing that, whichever way you're marketing it, you start to get into that sales mode voice, right? Or you start saying words and putting words together that don't even make sense because you go into that sales pitch. Whereas if you just take a look at the ads around you, you'll get some really great ideas on how to market to your audience and on, appealing to people's emotions. That's really what it's about. And I won't get too deep into that because we're actually, we're already at 40 minutes after the hour, so I don't want to keep you too long. I do have quite a bit more here to cover, so I don't want to overload you with information, but that's definitely something. If you aren't on my email list and you want that email, I'll send it out to you because it went a little bit deeper. And, my friend Jessica Higdon, she just said the other day to watch what works when it comes to leaders. And this was on Top Earners Academy just this past weekend, where she said that where so many of us are so intent on focusing on our own profiles on social media, where, you're either refreshing your own profile, looking to see who's liked your stuff, looking to see who's commented, and all that, where she said, focus on the leaders' profiles, focus on what they're doing, and look at people who are having the success that you want to have and be refreshing their profiles. Make sure you're checking out what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, how they're marketing, and implement that into your business. You don't need to be copying what they're doing, but you want to be aware of what's going on around you. And so just kind of keeping your marketing hat on all the time and really seeing yourself as a marketer, because you are in a business of marketing, right? It may be network marketing, but it's marketing. Marketing is 50% of what you're saying you are. So make sure that you see yourself as a marketer and view yourself that way. And it gives you a little bit more belief in yourself as a marketer when you start to notice things around you. And the more you kind of keep your eyes open, the easier it will come for you as you start to do your marketing as well. And make time. So this means to make time for all of these things that I've just taught you on here. Make it fit into your schedule. Don't allow yourself to use excuses for why you don't have time. Now, absolutely, this means scheduling it. When I started scheduling my days, and I do this the night before the next day, and especially on Sundays, so tonight I am going to be planning out my entire week, I had to fit a schedule into my life because I was not making time for the things that were important. And just like I said, once I understood what was important, I realized that I needed to make a schedule and stick to it. So if I allowed myself that 15 minutes on Facebook, that means I got off after 15 minutes and I started doing my business stuff, and that I would already know what was coming next. And so basically, you need to prepare your new recruits to make time as well. And I think this is kind of where we skip over or gloss over when we're so excited that we have a new recruit or somebody is just about to say yes to our business, and we don't want to say anything to them that's going to make them think any negative emotions towards it whatsoever, right? We want them to feel that feel good, I want to do this. But I really believe in being true with people, and instead of being like, this is going to be awesome, we're going to do so great, I'm so excited you're on my team, oh my gosh, this is so good, we're going to start working tomorrow, awesome, yes, let's get you a bunch of prospects, which I've said myself, it is much better to say, that's awesome, I'm so excited to get going with you. You know what, tomorrow I'm going to give you a call. We're going to go over your game plan. I want to find out what your goals are, how much time you have to put into this, and how we can get you to your goals based on that. So right there, you're allowing them to know that their success is going to be based on how much time they're willing to put in. So when you go to do that game plan call and you schedule that right away when you recruit someone and you give them that call the next day, you're saying to them, what time do you have to put in? Or first you're asking them what their goals are money-wise, where they want to be both, I guess money and time I go over, what they want out of life and where they want to be at a specific amount of time. Then they give you the time that they can put into it each week and say, okay, well, so based on the time that you've given me and you want to be at this goal, those two don't really match up. And you can kind of break it down for them and let them know what they need to do in that time to be able to reach that income goal, and they'll be able to see it for themselves. And so you can say to them, so what can we do to make some more time for you to work on this? Or do we need to cut back your goals a little bit to fall more into the amount of time that you can put in? And so when you're working with people to make time, and also for yourself, what are you going to give up? what are you going to give up some sleep? Are you going to give up some TV? Are you going to give up some, time going out for pedicures or a massage and instead use that hour in your business? Where are you going to make time to make this a necessity? Because not only do you need to prepare your recruits for that, but you need to recognize for yourself that this is hard work in the beginning if you're going to have success. And this isn't just, for some people it's success overnight or it's success in 6 months, and we all hear those stories and that's who we want to be. But for most of us, it's not. And so we need to understand that it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years, maybe even before you get to that point. So you understand that it's hard work. And one thing that I found that so many people, when I'm coaching them, and I'm telling them they need to make more time, and that, kind of making them in a gentle way, allowing them to recognize that they're probably not putting as much effort into their business as they need to be, or that they're allowing too many excuses to take over, or too many reasons that they can't make the time. And a lot of those reasons are either limiting beliefs where they don't believe that they can have the success. So they're allowing, how we procrastinate when we're either on the verge of a breakthrough, or we procrastinate when we don't really necessarily believe that we either deserve that success or that we could actually get it, or maybe we're not really even sure how to get there. So we procrastinate on taking those steps. Or a lot of the times what I hear is that it's actual people in their lives making them feel guilty for what they're doing. And so that can come to, family members, that can come to your work, wanting you to work overtime. And maybe, if you're able to say no, not putting in that extra effort there, they can make you feel guilty. It can come from a lot of different areas. It can come from people, friends that you hang out with. I hear that a lot, where people are like, well, my friends don't understand why I'm not around anymore. And I don't, they're starting to say stuff and I don't like that. So I'm feeling a little guilty. So I'm making some more time for them. Well, no, you've got to, take your stand and understand that in order to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to give up some things. That might be some relationships. That might be some hangout time. And that might even be, and I've talked to parents who I've said, I've had the conversation with my kids where they understand that I'm going to have to work really hard for a few years to get to that lifestyle where not only can we have the lifestyle we want, but we can give that lifestyle to other people as well. And we can have that freedom. And as kids, it's very hard for them to understand that. So you've got to carve in the time for them as well. But just have that open dialogue with people where they understand. And, that's even people, if it's people you used to visit with on a more regular basis during the week or during the month, just allowing them into your world and just say, this is what I'm up to. I'm doing some really big things. It's going to really pay off in the end, and I'm going to work really hard towards it. I just need you to understand that you may feel like you're being ignored, or you may feel like I don't have time for you, or you may feel like I'm a different person. And you know what? I really am growing into a different person, and I really am working on something really great, but I just kind of need that support from you instead of that guilt. So please try not to make me feel guilty. It's nothing to do with you. This is all, I'm just really want to focus on this, and it's really going to be fantastic. And I really want to make you proud of me. So if you don't mind, you may not see as much of me. And people, if you're just open with them that way, rather than kind of pushing them off, or making them feel like they deserve to, or, you deserve for them to give you that time, just making everybody understand what you're doing. And it allows that negativity to go away, because a lot of times the negativity that you're going to feel from your spouse or your family or friends or whoever, or your work, your coworkers even, is going to be based on kind of the vibe that you're putting out there about what you're doing. And so that eliminates that a lot easier. It keeps people really respecting what you're doing. And, when you tell people you're up to big things and that you just need their support, that if they love you, they're going to give it to you. If they don't give it to you, then those are the people that you can likely take a look at that maybe aren't the friends or coworkers that you need in your life, right? So it's okay to stop and take some time and just really map out what you can give up. For me, and I know I'm not going to keep on rambling here, but for me, it was TV. I used to come home every single night after work and watch TV, and I changed that into time for my business because I realized how unimportant that was. I've only watched there's about 3 programs right now that I don't miss, because there's a few things that I'm not going to give up. But I do need that downtime, right? That kind of where you give your brain a break. But yeah, I gave up so much TV that I had no idea that I'd become not addicted to it, but it just was what filled my time rather than what you can work on to be successful. So you basically have no reason to not have a schedule if you aren't earning a retirement income. So if you're not at the income level that you want to be at, you have no reason to not be making a schedule every single day and to be working towards that schedule. So you're working from home, you come home from work and you're working from home, or you already are full-time, you need to be on a schedule and you need to stick to it. It's the only way you're going to make it work is if you keep yourself accountable. Recognize your team efforts. This is getting a bit more into your team again, but remember that feeling where you got your first customer, you got your first recruit, and if somebody didn't notice that, well, it's not even so much that. It's just that feeling that you get, right? Like that is an amazing feeling. Your first customer when you're in this industry and somebody finally buys from you, you are just like, I did it. And there's nothing better when you have that feeling than for somebody to support you in that. So just think of it that way, that when your team member, even if they sell a $15 product, acknowledge them. And you can do that in so many different ways. You can call them. You can say, hey, I saw that you had a sale. Congratulations. You must be so excited. You can post in your team Facebook groups if you have those, or your team community, wherever that might be. You can post on your personal Facebook. I absolutely love it when people do that. That is one way to not only make other people feel good because you're recognizing them, but it's an amazing way to share your opportunity, or to just not even talk about your business, but just share somebody's efforts and that you're recognizing them. And that will get so many people questioning you on what you do and what you're up to, because you're not putting it in their face. You're kind of giving this little hint of what you're doing, but that you're doing it with other people. And where do people want to be? They want to be where everybody else is doing stuff too, right? And they don't want to be left out. So it's a great way to get people to talk about what you're doing. And my friend Amber Voigt, if you haven't seen her on Facebook, she's I think she's the #1 earner in Unique, but she is such a great example of somebody who just supports people nonstop. And if you take a look at her Facebook feed, you will just see support, 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 support. That is just what she does. She's so good at it. She's such a great example of somebody who just pours love out on her team, and not only just her personal team, but the entire company. So if somebody's doing something in her company that isn't even on her personal team, she's out there recognizing them. So be that encourager, be that cheerleader for people. That's what people need, and that's what's going to keep people around. The next one here is to ask direct questions when you're talking to your prospects and your customers. Just one second. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here, as you can probably hear. Always see the world through your prospect and your customer's eyes. So what do they need? What are they looking for? What are their pains? What is bothering them? What's keeping them up at night? And offer solutions to those things. Do not make it about you. So asking questions, asking what they do, what they want in life, how they spend their time, do they love what they do, if they're kind of down on life, just saying, well, hey, it doesn't seem like you're that, you just don't seem that happy right now. Is everything okay with you? What's going on in your life? If it's somebody that you haven't connected with in a while, just say, we haven't connected. How are things going? Just asking direct questions that are getting people to talk to you, instead of sending someone a message or calling someone up and saying, hey, I'm in this new business and I'm selling XYZ. I think you'd really like it. Can I send you a sample, or do you want to come to a home party, or, can I send you my link, or even just sending your link, like whatever, how people do that. Asking questions, connecting with people, treating them like you need to first identify that there is even a need or a pain. If they're looking to make money, figuring out where they're at in life, just really asking questions and making people feel important. And it will change the entire way that your business runs. When you take the focus off of you, instead of being like, okay, I need to go out today and make money, being like, okay, I need to go out today and see if I can help some people. And my friend Steve Krivda, I was interviewing him for my blog. This was probably at least a year ago now. But I remember we were having kind of one of those conversations off screen, right, before the interview, or maybe it was after, whichever. And, we had been in the same course that year, and he just seemed like such a different person. And I had said to him, so what was it that changed for you? What gave you because he had a confidence boost. He was just rocking his business. And I was like, what is it? And he just said, when I stopped waking up thinking about money and started thinking about how I was going to pour value out and who I was going to help, and really just seriously caring about people, he's like, it's amazing how everything changed and the money just followed. And so that's really what it is. And I know so many people, and especially people that I am coaching with, people are struggling. And most of us who start in this profession need money now, and don't need, you don't want to wait for that 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, or whatever it's going to be before you start making money to cover your bills. You need money now, and that's your main focus. But that money will come once you realize that this is really a business about people, and that you need to be marketing to their needs and to what they want, and just, if you can help someone, awesome. If you can't, it's okay to move on, and you don't need to force yourself on them. So just one thing, and this is where building the loyal followers, and this probably should have, well, you know what, I'll go into this afterwards, but if you're finding that you're going into a conversation thinking about yourself, just kind of change that around, identify that, kind of have some kind of way that you're aware of when you're only thinking of yourself, and make sure that you're not doing that, like just change it around to them. Realize when you're starting to talk about yourself more in a message. Realize when you're not asking questions and only talking about everything that you've done or talking about your company. Realize that and stop doing that, and realize how you can change that into a conversation about them and ask them direct questions about their life, their business. It's okay. If you're talking to a network marketer and they start talking about their company, ask them questions about it. That doesn't mean you're interested. I do that all the time. And I'll say, how's it going? Well, what are you selling? How do you like it? How's the benefits been for you? And yeah, are they getting the idea that I'm interested in what they're doing and want to join? Absolutely. 95% of the time I know I'm getting them excited thinking that I'm going to join, and I'm not doing it to tease them, but it is because I genuinely want to know, and because I'm putting them on my lead list, and because I'm going to follow up with them in a certain period of time to see if they're still feeling that exciting feeling. And when it comes to them saying, well, I can send you the information. It's a really great company if you want to join. I'm like, oh no, you know what? I'm super happy in what I'm doing too. I just love to talk to other network marketers who are, feeling the same thing and are super happy with what they're doing. So I'm so proud of you, and I love meeting those kind of people, and let's stay in contact, So, and then a lot of the time I will add them to my newsletter, which is what we're going to get into here in the next little bit. But, don't be afraid to ask questions, and asking questions to other network marketers does not mean that you want to join what they want to do. It's not a game of sharing your link first. It's genuinely about people. And the other, I had a couple of extra notes here on that one. When you're asking them after you've done a presentation, definitely ask them what they liked best about the presentation, or however you present, or whatever they're taking a look at. Ask them directly when you can follow up with them. Don't leave anything up to them, right? Don't let them call the shots. And then ask them how soon, if you're sending them information, how soon are you going to look at this? And then you set up the follow-up call. And that keeps you in control. It's your business, and you're not saying, so did you like it? Or so can I follow up with you? Or so, will you? It's not asking any questions that they can give a yes or no answer to. It's you're in control, and they're having to give you a time. They're having to let you know when you can follow up with them, when they have free time. And what they liked best about the presentation is them having to answer everything. They have to think, they have to say something, so you're in control. So those are the other part of the direct questions, not just on, talking with people, but when you're actually have a customer or a prospect, those are the questions that you can ask them, and just be super direct and manage your own business when you're doing that. Ask for the referral. This is something that I was taught on in the last year, and it has been huge for me. Force yourself to ask for the referral. If you get a no, if you have someone say to you, even if it's the harshest no in the world, force yourself to ask for the referral. It will get you in the habit of asking everybody for a referral. So if you even have the nastiest guy who's like, I had no idea this was going to be network marketing or MLM, I hate that, you can take it and stick it with your scam. You can say, oh, you know what? No problem. I totally appreciate your honesty. Thank you so much. Hey, if you happen to know anybody who this might be a good fit for, anybody who likes to travel, or who wants to lose some weight, or who, is looking to look better or to look younger, can you keep my information handy? I would love it if you would send them my way. There is no problem in asking people for that, because you're actually complimenting them. Even if they have been super harsh to you, you're complimenting them by saying, hey, I still value your opinion. So if you know anybody who you think would be a good fit, please send them my way. And it kind of ends it, and it ends any horrible no, it ends any horrible prospecting. Even if you've screwed up to the point where you've made them say no, you can still ask for the referral. It keeps you professional and it makes them feel good, because as much as we don't like to do the things that we don't want to do, make ourselves go out of the comfort zone, or even if it was a hard call or you just don't want to ask for the referral, people don't like to say no as much as you don't like to ask the questions, or as much as you don't like to ask them yes or no. They don't like to say no. I don't like to say no to people. I've learned that I have to say no to people in life, obviously, but I don't like it. I still don't like it. I feel like I'm hurting their feelings, right? And so it kind of takes that off of them as well. So when they've said no to you, because this could be a close friend of yours, right? And they're like, shoot, today's the day. I have to tell her no. This is going to be horrible. If you ask for a referral, it's like, oh, well, for sure. Yeah, I can at least do that for you, right? So that for me, it has been huge for me in the way that I have built so many relationships. I've gotten tons of referrals by just asking for it. It's a great way to start a prospecting conversation. If you don't want to do the direct, figure out if it's for them, if you already know that they're doing something, it's a great way to start that conversation. And also, it's a great way if you talk to other network marketers who are the best people to recruit for your business, because chances are they're going to end up not happy. If you ask them for a referral and say to them, okay, awesome, thank you so much. Who can I refer to you? What do you do? What is it that you sell? Who are you looking for? Keep notes, literally take the information, keep a referral binder so that you know who you're referring to for any type of industry, but then follow up with them in 6 months. And just say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I haven't come across somebody, or send them somebody. If you do come across somebody, absolutely send them somebody who might be ideal, and just say, hey, I have this person. And chances are in 6 months, if you've gotten a referral from somebody in network marketing, they probably aren't going to still be active, or they might not be as happy, or they may not see that vision, or maybe they've put a lot of money into auto ships that they haven't recouped. And, they're not feeling that warm and fuzzy feeling about it anymore. And you can start that conversation where, hey, you've kept to your word about referring to them. You sound like a pretty awesome person. What are you up to that keeps you so happy? And how can you share it with them? So it's a great way. Referrals can work in so many ways for you. I do it on webinars. Even at the end of the webinar presentation for my product, I will say to people, if you don't see your customer or a rep, then would you be a referral source for me? So absolutely ask for the referral as much as you can anywhere you go. Have simple to follow steps for your business, for your new recruits. And this does kind of go to where we talked about, working with your team in the beginning, but make it easy for them. If they ask you, what if I have this question, point them to the answer. If they say, where do I find the answer, point them to the answer for that. Have a game plan for them like we talked about. Have references for them. Have, a simple to follow. I put people into my autoresponder on my team. They get an email from me right away letting them know that the steps that they need to do, the training they need to go to. We have a specific, team site for our team where they know exactly where to go. And then we have easy to follow Facebook steps that they can do. Anything that they want is there. So make it all easy for them. People need to be told what to do, but they need to be able to do it, right? So if they see what you're doing, if you're a great marketer, you're super great with people, or you do tons of calls, however it's working for you, if people don't see themselves being able to do that, they're going to get really overwhelmed and confused. So just keep the process very simple for people. And then as they get successful, then encourage them to move into something that's maybe a bit more challenging for them, but don't give them any overload in the beginning. Next is you need customers, and we talked about how you can treat them, but you absolutely need them. Don't just focus on business builders. Make sure that you love your product and that you want to share it with people. And I have been in love with products and I've been in love with businesses, but not both in one situation, if you know what I mean. Make sure you love your product and you love your company. And if you don't, it's going to come through either in the business side of things or in the customer side of things. The reason I had so many customers in my first business was because I absolutely love my product, not the business, or how they were sharing the business. Basically, I didn't want to do it that way, and so it wasn't working for me. And then in other ones, I absolutely loved the business model, didn't necessarily care for the products whatsoever, and so I wasn't successful at either, because if you're not loving your product, then you're not going to be able to share it, right? So absolutely end up finding something that you are happy with on both sides of the spectrum, and make sure that you follow up with your customers. That is another place where I struggled in the beginning. I did not follow up. I just got a bunch of customers and expected them to contact me. Well, goodness, no, that doesn't work, right? That's not how a business is run. You need to follow up with them, see how they're doing, make them feel important, give them the warm and fuzzy treatment, send out cards, send out whatever you need to do to make them feel appreciated. And, absolutely let them know how your product works. Make sure that they know how to use it. Don't just let them get that shipment at their door. I mean, the first thing that I sold was a liquid nutrition where it needed to be shaked, and people didn't know that. And I remember I sold to my uncle, and he was like, there's this like stuff at the bottom, like, what is that? And I was like, oh yeah, you need to shake it. And he was like, oh, you didn't tell me that. And it's on the bottle, but people don't necessarily read that, right? And so instead he thought I had sold him something that had some funky residue at the bottom. So absolutely share with people how it works, and don't be embarrassed to give them instructions. People expect instructions. Or I have a friend that sells a cream, and he was saying that this cream that people see in this video, it needs to be used a certain way, and if it's not used a certain way, people are getting not the best results with it, right? And he said that there's so many customers coming in just buying it, they're not getting good results, and then they're stopping. He's like, but meanwhile, me and my team know that we need to, it's a certain process, and you need to put it on a certain way, and they need to do this. And he's like, so I teach my team how to show people how to use it, but if they don't show people how to use it, then the customers are dissatisfied, right? So don't be afraid to show people how to use your product. And it'll keep them happy and loyal to you. Have daily personal development. This is huge. This is mandatory. Make personal development a must. Make this fit in. Just like I think exercise is important, spending time with your family is important, making time for your business is important. You need to spend personal development. I carved out time in my morning for this. A great book to read to figure out how to do this at a very successful rate is The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And it's an amazing book. It will show you how you can take an extra hour in the morning if you want from personal development, but make it a must, and make it on something that is encouraging you. It doesn't have to be meditation if you're not into that, but just something, some sort of audio, some sort of personal development that keeps you motivated in this industry. We have a morning wake-up call for my online system that I use that is every single morning, Monday to Friday, and it is empowering. And anytime I'm having a funky day, I will turn on some sort of personal development, mostly in our industry, not even like the Zig Ziglars or the Jim Rohn audios, but something that just kind of builds that belief, right? We all need that built every single day. Don't feel bad if you feel like it's wandering away. We all go into those roller coaster of funky days. It's just part of life. That's just human nature. No matter how passionate you are about something, or even how successful you are, you can finally get to that successful point and then still have that personal doubt, right? Like, oh, it's not going to work. It's all going to go away. You need to be listening to something or have some sort of encouragement on a daily basis, or some sort of connection spiritually. If you read the Bible, or you're connected with God, or anything that you have that is going to build you, then absolutely spend time doing that. And, it's hard work, but we all have to do it, and everybody fits in time for that. That really is focused on their success. Getting loyal followers. Now we're going to kind of transition. So that first part is all about how you can fast track your success to a six-figure income. If you stick with all of those things, make sure that all of those things are part of your business, you will absolutely be on track to a six-figure residual income in no time. Now, this is going to be basically showing you how to get people to follow you. And that's one huge part of the business. And this kind of transitions into that world of where I said that other companies don't necessarily talk about or share with you. It's not part of your training. But again, you need to focus on their needs. I don't know if that's in my next, be focused on others. So you need to focus on their needs. You need to transfer that feeling to them You need to make sure that they know that you're fully focused on them. Make it all about them. Most people are selfish, right? They want to talk about themselves. So be that person for them. Don't give them that icky feeling of, okay, what are they up to? Why are they talking to me? Totally be focused on them and listening to them. This is going to really help you build that list, and building a list is a part of building a business in network marketing that isn't necessarily talked about too much. If you're not part of the online world and aren't part of any training in that spectrum, then you don't hear about this very much. But it is part of any major network marketer's business, is that they have a list of clients, a list of prospects, a list of their team that they keep in constant contact with and are nurturing that. And so when you focus on people's needs, they want to be around you. They trust you. They see you as an authority on whatever it is. And it's really about branding yourself and being that person for them. So I'm going to show you some different ways that that you can do that. But this is basically when you're being focused on others and you're starting any conversation whatsoever, make sure that you're looking at every single relationship as a long-term relationship. Even if it's somebody you've never talked to, you're just doing that thing where you send out a message on Facebook and, you know, it's a shot in the dark kind of thing. Think, okay, this person could be a part of my life for the rest of my life. This may be my rock star team member. It may be my best customer. It may be the person that gives me the biggest referrals. This could be a long-term, lasting relationship. Let's treat this person and this conversation like it is, and it will change the way that you talk to everybody, because everybody's different. And, you know, if you stop and think about their emotions and really that you are talking to a human being instead of a person that could be a customer or a prospect, then it makes the conversation go a lot easier. Narrow your target market. Now you want to be really, this was hard for me to grasp, and I go into this in other trainings a little bit more. So if you want, I actually just recently did a 10-minute video on narrowing your target market and why it's so important, how you can do that. But make sure that you know who you're marketing to. So whether that's online, on Facebook, on any social media whatsoever, know who the market is that you're talking to, and make sure that when you are doing those posts that you are not you're not talking about yourself. So if you're going to do a post and you're like, me, and it's, you know, you find that you're talking about yourself so much, make sure that you can turn that post into a post about them. Make sure that you're targeting their emotions. Well, like I say, when you share either, you know, team efforts or asking people questions or saying, hey, you know, have you ever felt this way? Who's felt this way? Like, what do you do when you feel like this? And you're going to get people who are going to say, yeah, I felt like this, or yeah, I have this pain, or yeah, I have this problem, or yeah, I want to lose weight, or yeah, you're right, I don't get to travel, or hey, I have been to this country. Anything where you're actually talking to people and engaging them and allowing them to talk about themselves, even on social media posts, is huge. So it's really just narrowing your market, talking specifically to who you want to hear from, and just allowing them to speak to you. And once I was able to narrow my market and realize that my main market is moms and dads, it's been so easy for me to just be myself, right? Because I am the mom that works full-time from home. So I can relate to their problems. I can relate to the fact that it's hard to work around kids, especially a 3-year-old boy, and, you know, that you don't necessarily have time for all the things that you want to do. You can't make all the events. You can't, you know, and I know I'm saying the word can't too much, but I understand that. It's just a fact of life. And just like I shared with you earlier, I understand that this is only a certain amount of my time. So I know that that's my market. So when I'm marketing to those needs, or those moms, or the fact that they want to be home with their kids if they're not already, and all of that. So really just knowing your audience. And, you know, it's so easy to do that, and it's so comfortable when you know your market and you've really sat down and figured that out. And like I say, you know what, I will put it up for you guys. It'll be at coffeewithangel.com/target market. I will attach that video there. Don't go there now because it's not there right now. But after this webinar, I will put that training up there so that you can go straight to it and get it. It's a really good video, and it shares information that I got from Ray in one of our trainings. Oh, I already went over this. Treat every relationship as long-term. There you go. And the other part of that too, that I didn't touch on at that point, was that even if you are reaching out to mentors, if you're reaching out to people that you admire and want to connect with, then you're treating those relationships as long-term as well. Don't just reach out to somebody and, you know, I don't know, ask them a question or like their post or comment on their post because you want them to notice you and you just want that recognition. Like, there's been so many long-term almost family relationships that I built with people that are mentors of mine, that, if I hadn't been being myself and I hadn't treated them with authority and let them know that I admired them and let them know that I appreciate what they've done for the industry and let them know that I'm willing to listen to what they teach me and that I'm appreciative of anything that they want to share with me, then I wouldn't be where I am today at all. And so really, again, it's putting in, what you're going to notice about this building a loyal following thing is that everything is about people's emotions. And so, reaching out to somebody that you admire as a mentor isn't necessarily building a following, but and I think that's coming up in the next one, the better your friends, the better your following. So if people take a look at your profile or your social accounts, or, even in my list that I'm sending out my emails, if I'm able to talk about something that I've done, which involves people that, other people admire as well, the people respect you and they kind of see you in a different light, and they see, okay, well, if that person likes this person, then I probably should be following what they say, because obviously they are a good person, or, they do know what they're talking about. They are good at what they do. And so it gives you lots of quality relationships. So just be really aware. I see when I first started, building my social accounts, and, there's those groups where you do like the 5,000 friends or whatever, you're just trying to get anybody. And when I was doing that, when I was getting anybody, I was spending so much time in messages with people that I didn't want to be talking to, because they would message me and I would think, oh, this could be a prospect. And I had no clue if it was or not. Then I got more selective with the people that I was adding and got more, I really got in tune with who I was adding. I really started searching out the exact prospect or the exact person that I wanted to reach out to, or the exact friendship that I wanted to build with someone. Or if someone that I was close with was friends with someone, I would say, well, I want to be friends with that person too, because they look awesome, and, I want to have that connection with them. So I started connecting with people that I wanted to be connected with, or that I had a purpose, I guess, that, purposeful connecting, I guess, basically. So just really be aware of that. Spend some time on that. I spend every single day adding 10 people on every single social account. So that's Twitter, that's Facebook. Well, not Instagram. I got to admit, I don't do 10 on Instagram every single day. I'm not consistent enough on there at all. But LinkedIn, Google+, those are all places where I'm building my network all the time. And you've got to kind of realize that each of those accounts are different. And so you've got to learn how to market on each of those. And I have training on all of this as well, if you want some extra training on any of these. But it's really just kind of figuring out who you need to be on each account, still being yourself, but understand that each platform has different markets that you're marketing to. So, but all of them, all of them, you're still talking to people where you are marketing to their emotions. So brand yourself. I touched on that just for a couple of minutes there. Branding yourself is huge. You've probably heard this a ton. I'm probably speaking on something you've heard a lot, but it is huge, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, is helping people brand themselves. In coaching calls, I find so many times that people have no idea what their brand is. They don't know who they need to be to their market, and they feel like they don't have any self-worth whatsoever. They don't have any success. Why would anybody want to listen to them? How can they build a brand? Well, the truth is, your brand is not based on any success. Your brand is based on that target market that you want to get to. Your brand is based on you. So if you have a story, I had this one woman, tell me just this story about her struggle with her family, her struggle with her job, how she's worked 3 jobs, has 4 kids. To her, she was telling me a horrible story. To me, what I was hearing is this story of triumph, victory. She was successful. She still persevered, and in my mind, I was thinking, you have a huge market to market to right there. So tell your story in your brand. Be yourself. Be true to who you are, and don't try to follow somebody else. Follow what they're doing. Mimic, I guess, how they've set themselves up, but don't be them. You can't be anybody else but yourself. So be yourself. Be the unique you that you are, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for somebody who's different, somebody who is genuine. People love to hear when you're just yourself and aren't striving to be perfection and aren't trying to sound like somebody else or pretend that you're some super success, but putting yourself out there and branding yourself and being real with people, even doing your first video or putting up your first ad or setting up a blog, anything like that, people will immediately see you as an authority in what you're talking about because you're doing something that they're not or that most people aren't. And so they're going to be more comfortable with you and want to ask you questions and want to connect with you. It's amazing how it happens so quickly. So don't be afraid to step out and brand yourself. I'll send you some free information on branding yourself. I've got a guide that I have, as well as my friend Tanya has an awesome information on that as well. And a lot of how I built my stuff was based on what she teaches. So for sure, make sure that you're doing that. So I didn't get into list building so much tonight. I wanted to get into that. I'm not sure what else I have coming up after this. Oh, share value and invest in yourself. So when you're thinking of how can you be building people, so now that you've got people interested in you and you're being yourself and you're talking to people in a normal way, how can you keep that interest? Well, you share value, which generally does involve investing in yourself. And so like for myself, I've got right now, well, I've got a few things that I've invested in, but I take a course and I'll do a bunch of videos on it, or I will, share a blog post on it, or I will run an ad on what I learned. And the great thing about all of these courses is not only are you sharing value that's going to get people intrigued in what you're doing, but you can share value in a course that you've taken. And if there's an affiliate promotion that they have where you can be an affiliate for that product, you can then say, if you wanted more information on this, then for sure check out this link and check out the product. It might be for you too. And you can make tons of money that way. That is one of the ways that I have made the most affiliate income, is by investing in courses, sharing it through my list, my blog posts, my videos, and my ads. And you can make some good money by just doing that. But you're putting out free value for people. Those people didn't invest in that course, and you're giving them some information from it. You don't need to give them the whole course in one shabam. You can say, hey, sorry, this is all coming up. You can say, hey, here's some information, and if you want some more info, this is where you can go get it. So that's kind of just a tidbit on affiliate income if you want to get some money to fund yourself while you grow your business. But, they basically, in order to see you as somebody who knows more than them, you can share anything. And what I was kind of, in the beginning, I took so many courses and I took a lot of training with Ray Higdon and Jessica Higdon, and I wasn't sharing it. And I guess I was thinking, well, if I'm taking it, everybody else is taking it, they probably already know this. But the funny thing is, people aren't, right? They're not taking the same courses as you. So chances are, if you've learned something new that you didn't know, chances are most people out there don't know it. And all you have to do is shoot a video and share that with people, and always be thinking like you're sharing with people who are totally inexperienced, because most people who are looking for the information are. So always be talking in basic terms and sharing with people that way. So keep track of every lead. Make sure, and we've touched on that, keep your notes on people that you're talking to, because building that following is going to be you reaching back out to them and knowing something about them. So make sure that you're keeping tracks of all of your leads. I have a notebook on all of my leads, when I need to follow up with them, what they've said to me, what business they're in, if they were super happy, what they're doing. And then I will set it up either, could be 1 month to 6 months down the road, where I reach back out to them and I say, hey, I remember we were talking about this. How's everything going? And they love that. So that also builds the following. And one other thing that I said that I didn't really elaborate on, but make sure if you do have an email list already started, and if you don't, you absolutely want to be setting up one. You will want to be getting people onto that list by just asking them if they want to be added. Just say, hey, I share marketing information, or hey, I share information about losing weight, or hey, I share information on anti-aging, or whatever it is, or feeling energetic at this age, or, staying active with your kids, how I keep my energy, anything like that, whatever your list is about, whatever you're talking to people about. Get them on that list, and you'll build a list really quickly. Now, if you don't have a list and you want to get started, you can go to coffeewithangel.com/aweber and get started with your autoresponder. I think they offer it for like $1 for the first month, and you can start doing that. You can start just marketing to people with a list, and get that training. I have other training on marketing to a list, so don't worry. If you want to get started with that, I will help you out with that. And for the advanced people out there, if you already have a team established and you're already, pretty successful at not pretty successful, but you're familiar with what you're doing, then you're going to want to go into funnel building. This has been huge. I work very closely with Tanya Eliza, and she's a master at it. And I've learned so much from her, and just how important it is to have a funnel for people to be going through. And that's not just a sales funnel. It's not just, where you're reaching out to people. She basically is able to take a cold prospect and turn them into that warm prospect. And she does that by getting them into her world and then treating them like they're valuable, sharing tons of valuable information with them. And then guess what? They feel like they know her, they like her, they trust her, they want to buy from her, or they want to join her. And I see it happen all the time. So it's huge. And so, like I say, it's not just a sales funnel. It's not just the funnels that you see maybe where you're clicking an ad on Facebook and they're offering you something, but this is hey, I'm going to give you something for free. And then the funnel actually goes through your list so that you're keeping in contact with them every day. You're setting up a series of messages afterwards, and you're helping them all out. And so I know that's probably over some people's head. That isn't really talking to the people who don't know what they're doing, but that's kind of a bit advanced, but it's where you want to be focused. It's where, if you seriously want to build that loyal following that's going to stick with you and not, jump over to the next person that's offering the shiny object, be focused on that list, on building that relationship, and on their needs and their emotions and what they want from you. And just be consistent. Do it consistent. All of this stuff that we talked about tonight, consistency is the key. Anything you give up on is going to screw it all up. So just be consistent, understand that this is hard work, and you're going to need to be in that grind for quite some time, and that it's worth it, and that it's fun. Have fun along the way. Have fun with your team. Be that awesome person that people want to be around. Have great energy. Be positive, and you're going to build an amazing team. Now, all of these things that I talked about, if you want further training, you need to take the initiative to discover some systems that will provide you with everything that you need, because all of this stuff that I talked about, it's a lot for you to think of all at once, right? And especially when you get into the marketing of your business and building that following online, how do you do that? What marketing step is best for you? I took some time over the years and really kind of researched a few different ways to do that. Other people are offering all these things, these lead generation and training and this and that. And I didn't really ever find anything all in one place. I have found that, and what I do is I basically I work with people to help them to find that as well, and to really get all the tools they need for their business. I think that if you're struggling in home business, just trying to do it all on your own, the best way, like I say, is to follow people who know what they're doing. And so when I was able to get around people who are making it work, I am very big online. I love to do online systems. I love face-to-face marketing as well, but I have more time for online, so that's where I spend most of my time. And when I was able to get somewhere where they were showing me what to do, giving me all the tools that I need, I'm able to build funnels, I'm able to do all of that. It took that pressure off of trying to figure out how to make it work. So make sure you spend some time and find that for yourself. It's okay to do that. It's okay to bring that into your business. It's the way to go. It's the way people are doing it. And, if your company doesn't encourage it, be that person to step out and kind of build your own brand and your own business for yourself. And don't make it all about the company that you're with, because if you do that, then if you ever leave or something happens with that company, you're going to have to start all over again. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. If they have an awesome system for you that you're using to bring in leads, that's great. And I say to people, because we'll be talking, they're like, oh, I have all that with my company. We have an email system that goes out and my leads all go in there. And I'm like, okay, but are you keeping those leads if you leave or if something happens to that company? And most of the time the answer is no. I mean, all the time the answer is no, because if the information is going to your company system and you leave, you can't take that information with you. So I just say, that's great, but you also want to be building your own. You want to be building your own business, and you want to have your own leads to keep in contact with, and a way to do that. So absolutely, it's super important. The way that I do it, if you ever want to take a look at it, you can take a test drive. It's at coffeewithangel.com/trial. Now, this one I think is $10 for 10 days. So you can take a look. Everything that I talked about tonight, all that training is in there. It's all free training every single week on everything that's working. There's a library of training back there from the last 6 years, I think, 6 years of training from top marketers. And I mean, when you see the marketers that are in there, it's all the top names that you see, all the top earners that have made it work with with this and all these tools at their disposal. And so what I do is I basically, if you do find something like this, make sure that you are working with people who are going to help you, because like I spend time with people who are, you know, ready to go and add this into their business. We get on the phone every single week for an hour. So they're getting 4 hours of my time, and we're just going over everything. I mean, I help them with either their prospecting or their objection handling or their marketing or, you know, their questions on whatever it is that they're doing in their business. So it's not specific to any one thing, but it's just that one-on-one time to really help people build their business and, you know, help them with their email swipes. So when I say, you know, you want to be sending follow-up messages to your email list, well, a lot of people don't know even where to begin with that. So that's what I help people out with, is getting that set up. What should the follow-up messages look like? And I have a cookie method that I actually learned from Jimmy Kim, where, you know, you're giving a cookie and you're always keeping a cookie in the basket, and it's a really good way to do your email marketing. So I share that with them. And, you know, like I say, I work closely with Tanya and Caesar and Ray and Bert Bledsoe. And so I'm sharing with them all the information that I'm learning from them on funnel building and on, you know, marketing and on, you know, Bert Bledsoe is the king of basically doing everything for free and building your list and building an amazing following all for free. So those are all the information that I share with that. So if you want to take a look at that, that's where you can go and grab your 10-day trial for $10. If you do that, it will send me an email notification, and I will contact you just to figure out where you are with your business. It's a free consultation, and I do it for half an hour, just to figure out where you are and see where you're at and just help you out a bit and see if there's anything I can do to help you out. And yeah, and then like I say, if you join on with the system afterwards, then we rock and roll and get you going and get all of this set up for you so that you are building that awesome following and that 6-figure income and just a clear path in your business, right? To where you can see how all of this that I taught on tonight comes together and really will grow your business for you. So I'm going to go out of screen sharing mode here, and my children have come down here. I'm still on the webinar. Yeah, I'm almost done. Sorry, it's that, are you almost done? I had said an hour, right? And so now it's been an hour and a half. So I'm going to come over here to the questions. First, no chat. I'm going to go chat, right? So I'm going to go off of screen share, and that's my Google. No, I don't know. Oh, boy. I want to be able to enable the chat for you guys. And let's see. I don't want to screen share. Cancel. So if I come over here. Now, when I was in here, that's group chat. When I was in here before, I was able to. Now Q&A is off. I was able to see the chat before, but now I can't, and I feel bad because now I can't. You know what? I can't even see my panel anymore here. I was gonna see. No, it's not that. I want to be able to answer. Oh, now I'm in some showcase thing. Can you tell this is my first time I'm using this new one? Well, you know what? I don't know if you guys can see here, and I've got it on my phone, so of course chat doesn't work. I'm going to see, maybe this is control room. No, that doesn't look like it. I want to be able to turn on the chat for you guys so that I can actually chat with you in here. I think I needed to do it when we were first set up there. I'm going to try Q&A one more time. Let me see if I can turn it on. No, it says it's disabled. I think I needed to enable it when I was setting up the webinar. And if I come to chat. Well, my entire control panel for the webinar is not showing now for some reason. Well, guys, I guess I'm not going to be able to turn on the Q&A. So if you have any questions, then for sure, I'm just going to look up and see if I can change it anywhere here. No, I don't. I'm gonna have to do. You know what I did? I've used Google Hangouts for quite some time before I started GoToWebinar, and so I kind of just assumed everything was going to be the same. And Webinars on Air has a training that they do for doing your first live webinar. I probably should have watched it, because instead I was like, nah, I know what I'm doing. It'll be easy. You've done one webinar, you've done them all. But it doesn't look like it is. And, you know, it annoys me, because before I was at least able to, oh, here we go. Enable chat. There we go. It's enabled. So if anybody on here has any questions, for sure, type it in the chat. You'll see it on the right-hand side, unless if you're on your phone, then I don't think you have the ability to chat. You might. I'm going to check out mine. Let's see here. Yeah, I think you have to actually hit done on the video in order for it to show up. So if anybody has any questions, for sure, type it in. I'm just going to wait here and see. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so if you have questions, let me know. I am going to put you over to the trial. If nobody has any questions, then I will redirect you over there. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes. I really appreciate you guys being on here, and hopefully everything that I shared with you tonight helps you out. It was all, like I say, it's a lot of information that you don't necessarily hear and a lot of training that I've kind of put together, and a life experience on how I built my business as well, and just things that have helped me. And like I say, I like to share with people the mistakes not to make, because there's so many things that are kind of thrown your way, and ways to build your business that don't necessarily work for everybody. But these that I share with you tonight are tested and true, and they are the ways that are going to work, and they're ways that I could probably talk on them for hours and hours, as you see, but it's definitely the way you need to start thinking in your business, and you need to start not only appealing to people's emotions, but also see yourself as the CEO of your business, and treat it very importantly, and understand that what you're doing is huge, 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 and nobody can make you feel bad about what you're doing. And just keep that belief, and keep that energy, and keep that uplifting. If you ever need support, if you ever want somebody to be your cheerleader, if you don't have that, for sure reach out to me and let me know. You can find me on Facebook. I'm the only Angel Balichowski over there. So it's Angel, A-N-G-E-L, Balichowski, B-A-L-I-C-H-O-W-S-K-I. You'll also be getting an email from me with the replay. So for sure, you can send a reply back to me and let me know, or you can connect with me on Facebook. Just shoot me a message and let me know that you were on my webinar and that you had some questions, or just want to connect, and I'd be more than happy to connect with you. I don't see any questions coming through, so you guys are either overloaded or are going to save it for later, so that's cool, no problem. I am going to put you guys through to that sorry, I'm just looking here. Somebody was starting to type something, but it's not a question, it's just a comment. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being on. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to put you guys through to the trial if you want to take a look at it and see if it's fit for you. My children need to go to bed, so I won't keep you any longer. But absolutely, you know, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get this for you guys. I really appreciate you being on here tonight, and you know, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday night. Make next week an awesome week, and believe that you can do this and get to your 6 figures soon. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Mommy? Mommy? Mom? Yeah. Mom?